Salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Turn this over to Mr. Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We do have two presentations of Volunteers of the Month. And as always, we thank our volunteers for what they do for our schools and students of Scott County. Volunteers of the Month, we have two at Winfield Elementary School. We have Ashley Kidd and Thomas Kidd. And I don't think either one are here tonight, but we thank them for what they do. And Mr. Chairman, that's all I have for presentations at this time.
Do we have a public forum?
Ms. Tammy, are you wanting to say anything tonight?
Not specifically. I'm with Congressman Flashman's office. Some of you know me, Tammy Merritt. I'm his field representative for the part of Scott County that we serve. Just wanted to come and be interested in what's going on in the county and pass that along to the congressman. So if you all ever have any issues in our part of the county, please feel free to reach out to me. Or if it's not in our part of the county, I will get you some help with Representative Rose's office. Thank you. Appreciate what you all do.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you for being here.
Do any principals have anything new? If not, go to superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Quick report on summer school. I know that Miss Amanda and Mr. Owens been out in the field, they visited every school, said remarkable things are going on. It's a high praises today, I guess, Mr. Winfield. Said that things were great. The teachers were just extraordinary what they were doing today, so they were really pleased with that. I think Huntsville Elementary had a sale today, a lemonade sale today from the semi. That was wonderful. And not just Winfield, there's a lot of amazing things going on at every school this summer, so really glad to hear that today. Do want to announce that going to have a little bit of a change, a little shift in order at the Technology Center. As of starting on July 1, Ms. Tanya will become the supervisor of technology. Mr. Greg will at that time go to, as him and Tom, will still be the assistants. Greg will maintain the role as what he's done. I think with this being done, I think it allows us to reach into more. And I want to first commend Greg for 14 years, I think, is it not, Mr. Bond? 15 years as a technology coordinator. This will allow him to focus more on really what he needs to. Allow Ms. Tanya to step forward from a more educational perspective. Not that Mr. Bond doesn't do a great job with it, but Ms. Tanya with the background and training with it, I think will let us streamline some things, make us efficient, possibly more efficient, because like I said, it's going to allow Greg and Tom to focus on things they need to focus on. I know Ms. Tanya will do a great job. I think she will carry the torch and continue our technology. I think, guys, if you talk to people and you listen to people, I think our technology department is second to none compared to anywhere we go. And I think this will make us stronger. I know there's some ideas and plans that we've talked about here the past week or so. We'll be bringing to the board here soon as we can get out here and get on maybe a trip or two to visit a few places. But we have some ideas I think we'd like to look at and bring towards the board. But with that being said, I know Ms. Tanya's going to hit the ground running, and we're looking forward to you in this role. And thank you for what you do, and I know you'll expand this role to make it even stronger than what it has been. And that's saying a lot. That, like I said, that will happen on July 1 officially. And as a lot of you have also seen, I know you've got an email or maybe Mr. Shannon has reached out to you. Coach Keith Shannon has taken a job with Morton County Schools. He will be the principal of their vocational school and CTE director. A little different role than what he had here with us, is he'll actually be involved as a principal over one of the schools. I know Mr. Shannon took it with a heavy heart because he loves Scott County Schools. He loved working here, and he loved what he did. And I'll say this much for Coach, he did his job passionately, he did his job effectively, and you always told everyone when I hired him as a coach that he was a better teacher than he was a coach. And he was an outstanding coach. I always owe him and, you know, Coach Sharp and his staff a debt of gratitude for coaching my son when he came through. And I know a lot of other parents feel the same way, that their children's life was enhanced playing under Mr. Shannon. Like I said, we sorry to see him go, but excited for him. And I think it's an opportunity that he needed to take and looking forward to taking. So, you know, he'll always be welcome back here. He'll always be part of us, and just wish him the best. Also, the last thing before I close, remember Miss Paulette's mother in your prayers. I think she's had a stroke. I've not heard anything today. You may know more of an update than what.
It's affected her vocal cords,
Uh-huh.
so she's talking with just a whisper, but she goes into speech therapy ASAP.
Gotcha. Years ago, growing up as a teenager, I got to work under her supervision at Chenier. She's a very stern boss, but very fair, and she loved us. That we did, but she expected us to do our work and do what we're supposed to do. And I always remember that because it was, you learn accountability at an early age. And she made a big impression on me during the time of my summers when I'd come in and work in the summer out at Chenier Industries, and she was my supervisor there for a couple of summers. It was really always a pleasure to work for her. Just great people. Keep them in your prayers. Keep the family in your prayers if you could, please. Mr. Chairman, that's all I have, and unless y'all have any questions for me.
Thank you. Need to turn this over to John.
Adoption of the agenda. Thank you. Before the board adopts the agenda, and I told Director Hall that I wanted to make sure that the board was aware of this. The board did discuss a resolution to approve expenditures for the media board, or the Jumbotron. As some of you know, and as Director Hall knows, I was not able to get that resolution to him until Tuesday. So that is part of your agenda before you adopt it. So I just wanted the board to, to be aware of that. If that needs to be removed, the board can do that.
Here, I have a problem with it. I don't think anybody.
I just wanted to make sure everybody knows that that's part of the agenda.
Yeah, when it comes up, we'll talk about it. Okay, item number 7, adopt the agenda. In accordance with board policy number 1.403, the Scott County Board of Education should adopt the agenda of all items to be acted upon during the regular monthly meeting of June 12th, 2025.
I make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote on roll call.
Ms. King? Dr. Murphy? Mr. Stanley?
Aye.
Ms. Kidd?
Aye.
Mr. Shelton? Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Silcox?
Item number 8, in accordance with the Scott County Board of Education Policy 1.403, the Board of Education may include routine and non-controversial items on the consent agenda, which may be adopted by a single vote without discussion. Any item on the consent agenda may be removed and placed on the regular agenda for further consideration at the request of any board member. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote on roll call.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Shelton?
Aye.
Ms. Kidd?
Aye.
Ms. King? Mr. Stanley?
Aye.
Dr. Murphy? Mr. Silcox?
Item 9A, use of school facilities. The Huntsville Volunteer Fire Department has asked permission to use the Huntsville Middle School football field as a base for operation for detonating fireworks during the Fireman's Fourth Festival. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote on roll call.
Mr. Shelton?
Aye.
Ms. King?
Aye.
Mr. Stanley?
Aye.
Dr. Murphy?
Aye.
Mr. Silcox? Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Kidd?
Aye.
Item 9B, approval Alqui agreement. The Children's Health and Maintenance Plan administered through the Alqui organization and provides dental screenings for students in the Scott County School System. Alqui is requesting access to students' TCAP and attendance data in order to analyze the relation of dental scores to school performance. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Any discussion?
I have something I want to say. During graduation, when the seniors were filing past the school board members, I was amazed at how many students were going by with really bad teeth. Are we not serving the high school or in any way in dental screenings?
They do dental screening as far as I know, certainly third grade. As far as with the high school, I'd say not at that time. A lot of times when they go through the dental screenings, they maybe catch somebody on as a patient at that time. So, not that I'm aware of. They come in after every dental screenings as far as, I know Mr. Shoemaker does it through the elementary schools and middles, so.
Well, it was a real issue, and I noticed it seemed like at least a third of the students came by had real, and it wasn't crooked teeth, or it was just the hygiene on the teeth. It was bad. Did anyone else notice that? So.
Can I speak, sir? What about the privacy of the students if they want to access their data? How do we handle that?
We've had, we've had this agreement for a number of years. That we've
Okay,
we've
so-
done that, yes.
Okay, sorry,
Yes.
that's fair.
Yes, and they keep everything with them too also, as part of their agreement with us.
Last year.
Okay.
Vote on roll call.
Mr. Silcox? Ms. Kidd?
Aye.
Ms. King?
Uh-huh.
Mr. Stanley?
Aye.
Dr. Murphy? Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Shelton?
Aye. Okay, item 9C, according to board policy number 4.302, board approval is needed for out-of-state and overnight trips. Those listed, do I have a motion?
Motion?
Second.
Any discussion? Vote on roll call.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Dr. Murphy?
Aye.
Mr. Silcox? Mr. Shelton? Ms. Kidd?
Aye.
Ms. King? Mr. Stanley?
Aye. Item 9D, the Dollar General Foundation has awarded the Scott County School System a Literacy Foundation grant. These funds will be used for literacy activities. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Is that like we have family reading night and so on? Is it used for that? Anybody
Yeah,
know?
Ms. Manna can tell you as far as,
Dollar General grant, they buy books for, it's mainly Huntsville Elementary, but they also give money to Sky for the museum and kids that might need like a cap, a gown. I think they did that this year. Kids that go to competition, they help them with that kind of thing too.
Okay.
Vote on roll call.
Mr. Shelton? Ms. Kidd?
Aye.
Ms. King? Mr. Stanley?
Aye.
Dr. Murphy?
Aye.
Mr. Silcox? Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Okay, item 9E, the Finance Department opened bids and was sent to the board for your consideration for OT and PT race rehab services. Do I have a motion?
Motion?
Any discussion? Vote on roll call.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Silcox? Mr. Shelton? Ms. Kidd?
Aye.
Ms. King? Mr. Stanley?
Aye.
Dr. Murphy?
Item 9F, the Finance Department opened bids and was sent to the board for your consideration for lawn mowing services at Scott High School by Phillips Lawn Care.
do we?
So we rejecting it, like,
If it gets no motion or second, it fails. So we have a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Sir, looking over the bids,
Yes.
there were some that said in their bid that they would do the mowing, weed eating, and killing of the weeds.
Yes.
Whatever that's called. Okay, some did not say that, so when we enter a contract with these people, if we do, are we going to specify exactly what they're required or what we
That-
want them to
that
do
was
in a
what we sent
contract?
out.
Is that what we're gonna do?
Yes,
it's gotta be
For-
consistent with what they bid.
Right, everybody,
I just kind of felt like they all come in way too high. That's just me personally.
okay.
So, the only one that's competitive, I guess, was the high school. But
Mr. Hall. And also, all this will come out of reserves, I didn't budget for mowing, so keep that in mind as well as you vote. I just want you to have that information.
Any other discussion?
What about the other schools? Are we gonna do anything with them?
we need to
Can we lump
pass them
them
or reject them. We
together?
vote on each one of them individually.
Lump them.
Should be all should be on there,
Oh, okay.
okay? Because it was brought up, placed on there, it had to be placed on the
Did this
agenda.
company bid on the whole thing?
No, she's saying, can we do every bid at one time?
No.
Instead
Can
of-
we lump J through K together, since Mr. Hall feels like it's too expensive endeavor for us to take at this time? Can we?
My feeling would be all of them.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's J through K, right?
Yeah. And that's my
And you
feeling
see,
too, that
you
we
gonna-
don't have the money to take it out of the
No,
reserve.
F through K, I'm
F through
sorry.
K.
Yeah.
Well, I know, I think it'd been asked to be bid individually.
Oh, okay.
Hey, y'all had asked, is that correct, Mr. Beatty? And I guess that we can probably vote them individually.
I think we can go through this pretty fast.
Can I have motion seconds?
That's right.
You ready to go?
Roll call. Mr. Silcox? Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Shelton?
Nay.
Ms. Kidd?
Nay,
Is that nay?
nay.
Ms. King?
No.
Mr. Stanley?
No.
Dr. Murphy?
No.
Motion failed, 5-2.
Okay, item 9G, awarding the bids for Robbins Elementary. Do I have a motion? So,
No motion. No motion
No
failed,
motion.
Mr. Beatty, that's correct.
Just make sure there's no motion.
okay, no motion. Item 9H, mowing services for Huntsville Elementary, Abbott Enterprises. Do I have a motion? No motion. Item 9I, mowing services for Winfield School, Abbott Enterprises. No motion. Item 9J, mowing services for Fairview Elementary, Abbott Enterprises. Do I have a motion? No motion. Okay. Item 9K, mowing services for Birchville Elementary School, Abbott Enterprises. No motion. Brings us to 9L, telehealth memorandum. East Tennessee Children's Hospital would like to continue with the Scott County Schools to provide telehealth to all students for the 2025-26 school year. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Let me ask you this, and I think I asked it the last time in the workshop. We did receive some monies from this telehealth service the lady that was gonna help us to collect funds, is that true?
For the nurses?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that money is spent for nurses.
It will be. So that money came in late, so I didn't bring it back in, but next year it'll go towards nurses.
Okay, and we did get the nurse for Birchfield and Winfield, that fourth nurse?
Yes.
It is,
No.
okay.
No. We are not getting another nurse, not unless things have changed.
For summer learning? Yes.
Well,
I budgeted
we
for it.
can budget it, we can do that.
Rosemary, I've sent Miss Amanda an email. Rosemary said that she could work the two of the ones in the lower part of the county. So, because one of them, I think Robbins, only has a diabetic, and that diabetic has not been there a couple of days, and so,
So they've been serving you?
yes.
Okay.
Jean was up
Yeah,
there
she was
today.
today.
Okay, okay.
So I told Rosemary, told
Yeah.
Miss Amanda in my email that that's what Rosemary had suggested. And I said if that was okay with Mr. Hall, that we could do that. And so
Okay.
Jean was up at our place today.
Okay, yeah, I heard from her, so.
Just a thought, I've already changed the budget and it can't be changed back, so if you want to, we need to get with Miss Rosemary. The money's
Okay.
there already.
Okay,
I can't change it back now.
okay.
Vote on roll call.
Mr. Silcox? Mr. Shelton? Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Kidd? Ms. King? Mr. Stanley?
Aye.
Dr. Murphy?
Item 9M, board approval is needed to continue the contract with the STAN program in the amount of $17,500 for the 2025-26 school year. Do I have a motion?
Motion?
Second.
Any discussion? Vote on roll call.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Shelton? Ms. Kidd? Ms. King? Mr. Stanley?
Aye.
Dr. Murphy?
Aye.
Mr. Silcox?
Can I go back, sir, can I go back to what we were talking about? Not to, but the two checks that came in, Miss Amanda, are they enough to employ how many nurses? Or even, can they pay for one nurse? I don't know what, I guess what I'm asking is how much money was brought in?
I think it was around 8,000.
Yeah.
Okay, so not enough.
It's not enough, no.
All right, thank you.
Item 9N, the Scott County Board of Education has been a member of the Tennessee School Systems for Equity several years and needs to approve the dues for the 2025-26 school year in the amount of $2,837. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote on roll call.
Dr. Murphy?
Aye.
Ms. King?
Aye.
Ms. Kidd? Mr. Shelton? Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Silcox? Mr. Stanley?
Aye. Item 9O, pursuant to board policy number 2.201, the Scott County Board of Education needs to approve budget amendments as recommended by the Director of Schools. The ISM budget amendment number 5 and GP amendment number 12. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Any discussion? Vote on roll call.
Mr. Silcox? Dr. Murphy?
Aye.
Mr. Stanley?
Aye.
Ms. King? Ms. Kidd? Mr. Shelton? Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Item 9P, a memorandum of understanding. The Tennessee Comptroller's Office has recommended that the Scott County Board of Education enter into a memorandum of understanding with Greg Bond and his broadcasting network relative to his employment with the school system and his operation of the network. The county attorney has prepared an agreement for the next school year, which needs to be approved.
Just to know, because of the change of title, we will need to change that, but everything else will be the same.
I make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Thank you, Greg, for all you do.
Vote on roll call.
Ms. King?
Aye.
Dr. Murphy?
Aye.
Mr. Stanley?
Aye.
Ms. Kidd?
Aye.
Mr. Shelton? Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Mr. Silcox.
Item 9Q, pursuant to TCA 3-21-118 and Board Policy Number 2.403, the Scott County Board of Education may declare property as surplus and authorize the Director of Finance to auction the identified surplus property on GovDeals. That's the Jacobson Reel and Gang mower.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote on roll call.
Mr. Silcox. Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Shelton. Ms. Kidd.
Aye.
Ms. King.
Aye.
Mr. Stanley.
Aye.
Dr. Murphy.
Item 9R, a cooperative agreement with Scott County needs to be approved relative to fund applied for, received, and appropriated through the Hazardous Mitigation Grant Program of TEMA and FEMA, as revised and prepared by the county attorney. This agreement, which provides detail regarding funding, appropriation, and distribution of applicable grant funds, also needs to be approved by the Scott County Board of County Commissioners.
This agreement has already been approved through the town of Huntsville, so this would be just a revision that in the event that the grant funds were received, that the county government could be the recipient of those funds and the administrator of the funds. But like it says, county government has to approve it as well.
So would they be the ones that would do the paperwork to collect? Is it 75-25 now, or is it 95-5? What is it? Do we know yet?
We don't know yet.
Okay. So this is just giving permission at this point, right?
To
So-
enter into the agreement, when the funds come in, how it's gonna be administered.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Vote on roll call.
We have no motion or second.
Oh, sorry.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
Any other discussion? Okay, vote on roll call.
Mr. Shelton.
Aye.
Mr. Silcox.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Kidd.
Aye.
Ms. King.
Aye.
Mr. Stanley.
Aye.
Dr. Murphy.
Aye.
Item 9S, a contract has been presented for the installation of a digital scoreboard at the Scott High School football field. The proposed contract with Digital Scoreboards LLC for the total contract sum of $179,750 would not have to be bid because of the classification of an interlocal purchasing system contract. Funding for the project would need to come from the reserves held by the school system, who would seek corporate and business sponsorships to allay the costs. Do I have a motion? Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Why did we change the name of this to Digital Scoreboard? I don't understand, because Jumbotron was what I was told. Is there a purpose?
I drafted the resolution, I used the contract itself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's called,
Where this says it.
yeah, anywhere you go, it's called a Jumbotron.
Right, I mean,
Yeah,
which
but I
is-
mean,
I didn't even know what that was.
Yeah, on the
sorry to
yeah, on
say.
the contract through the company.
I just wasn't
Right, you
trying to
went
be
with what
sneaky,
this
but
says.
yeah, digital scoreboard, so.
Well, I just.
But it is the Jumbotron that everybody has been talking about,
Okay.
yes.
Well, first of all, I want to, for the foresight that Mr. Shelton has about bringing things into this community, I commend him, let me say that. And I'm not against the Jumbotron by any means. I'm not against anything that's going to enhance and give our kids a foot up, I'm for. However, when I look at what a needs in our community is, the school system, I see that we have positions that where teachers have retired, that we have not replaced those teachers. I see where we have our maintenance department trying to their best to take care of the schools and keep them going, have went over their budget. I have seen where we're relying on ESSER funds to pay for a chiller that we're not gonna get, more than likely, will not get. So we have like $431,000 that we're not gonna get, but we've got a chiller out there that we have to buy. And I would like, when we look at this and think about it, you know, we've got cooks, custodians, teachers' assistants, secretaries, paraprofessionals that are way underpaid. And at least we could do is look at doing something for them in some kind of capacity before we look at the Jumbotron. And I'm not against it. If we had the money, you know, if we would all donate our salaries, maybe that would be a bucket of money. But I just can't see
Well,
with the needs that we've got.
yeah. I'll speak to those if I can.
Okay.
In kind of reverse order of the way that.
Okay.
For the last one down, as far as on the raises.
Okay,
Well, we always bring that budget before the board. I think I've been there 14 years. I think at least 12 of those, maybe, there may be one more outside that, that everyone's gotten a raise. I think I said pretty confidently. What we brought forth this time of the budget was left to you guys to decide on as far as with that. This is a different pile of money. This is what's in our reserve, which we don't use or haven't used. We may have to make some amendments at the end or something to cover a spot or two here and there if we've gone over in some places. But, you know, that is a different place from where we get money that covers our teacher assistants, and everyone else. Different thing as far as with that. We've always tried to get as many people, and this board's always asked, try to get as much money to people as we can. But we're only allocated so much when it comes to that. And what, in that retrospect and thing, I'm never against anybody getting a raise.
Okay,
Nor
but-
will I ever not be.
but if we give, what we do, a Christmas bonus, that does come out of the reserve, is that correct?
That'll come out of the reserve, yes.
Okay. And is our budget tight right now, Miss Amanda?
Yes,
Are
ma'am.
we really tight?
Yes.
The budget
Okay.
is, yes.
So keep all of this in mind. You know, some of the other things that I listed here, you know, the raises, you're right, does not come out of the reserve. But if we give a Christmas bonus, that does. And
It
all
does.
these other things come out of our reserves. So I'm just saying,
But if we can take money out of the reserve to buy this, why couldn't we take money out of the reserve to give raises?
Reoccurring.
it's two different types of pot for
Okay.
raises.
Well, I mean, I just know this. I don't know if you break it down to by the hour, what our aides are making, but I know what they start at Walmart at. And I don't think we're paying that.
I'm for raises too, I'm for bonuses too. Bonuses nor raises give back to the fund. This will.
We've had one conversation with one business and we've generated, I mean, they're excited about it. I think, you know, I get it on the surface of what it looks like, and that's why I was extremely transparent when I was campaigning. That's why I tried to post it all over Facebook. I don't want people to feel like they were baited and switched on, but I've seen how this worked for another high school that I went to. And I also have a unique perspective where I went to college not even knowing where Scott County was on the map, and have heard kids from Knoxville and seen how they react when they learned that somebody came from Scott County, and the jokes and stuff. So, you know, the benefits to this, from my perspective, is it's going to allow us to try to generate some reoccurring revenue to where the needs that our athletic teams have does not have to come out of our budget as often as they have in the past. And there's a lot. And so I know even with the softball and baseball parks, I know those are owned by the county, and they usually, you know, split cost and things like that. They have an appetite to do things over there, but this is going to benefit them as well. So I think if you look at, and you know, it's what I've tried to illustrate to as many people that would listen, that, you know, we do have a plan in place to where this is going to help our parents who have to fundraise and go hit up the same businesses. Like I said, I experienced that with the 2 basketball camps that I helped put together. I did not think it would be as hard to get the amount of money that we were asking for to offer that type of opportunity to our community and to our kids, but there's just a lot of apathy. And so it was really apparent when I went and talked to Mr. Haley from McDonald's that the excitement that he had, because they want to feel like they're getting something in return for their investment. And it's not the it's the vision that we have and how we're going to be able to build up an athletic fund and support our kids. And, you know, I get it, athletics is a part of schools, so is academics and activities. I have 3 daughters now, you know, they're never gonna play football. They might play, one's probably definitely gonna cheer. I don't know about the other 2, but this does not impact, you know, the football team exclusively. I know that, you know, if you think about how it can be utilized for the community, you can go on and on with the benefits. You can go on and on with what we're going to be able to do with the CTE class and, you know, the potential, the collaboration that's Mr. Garrett has offered. So and then graduation, that was another thing. When the girl came through and she was crying, and after going out and talking to people, asking for their vote and seeing the, you know, situations that some of our kids live in, you know, I take a lot of things for granted, but that was a huge accomplishment for her. So being able to celebrate our students who are graduating, and I think it was pretty apparent there was a, you know, really positive energy there. A lot of people were proud that it was nice, the venue was nice, and this is just going to elevate it to where our biggest threat is homeschooling. So at least we're going to be able to say when you graduate from Scott High, you're going to be showcased and put on a platform that I didn't get to experience as a high school student. And, you know, that's, not everyone's going to agree with it, and that's fine with it, but I appreciate you guys just being transparent and sharing your thoughts on it.
And again, I'm not against it. I'm just not comfortable with spending for it at this point. If I knew that we had that money to spare, I'd be the first to say yes. But Mr. Silcox said that when that money was generated, it would go back into the reserve. Did I hear you say that, or?
It would generate money back to
the high school.
To
the high school.
Well,
To the high school.
but the money's coming out of the reserve, right?
Yes.
Well, it's the reserve that we've got to kind of make sure that we stay at a certain amount. Is that not right? Okay, so that, I mean, that's my only, you show me.
Are you comfortable with us if we approve this with where it will leave us in the reserves?
Yeah, I mean, of course, Miss Amanda might tell you different. You know, I know we got to have by law 3%.
3.5.
3.5% by law, we're a little above.
What is that amount?
We were at 4.52 as of yesterday, but that's not counting some of the amendments that Ms. Amanda's taken out. I know the ESSER fund might not come back in, there's a chance that we can use it in some different direction and get recouped the majority of it if it's approved. So that still, you know, can be done. The wall had to be done. The chiller had to be done. You know, those are have-tos. Those are things right there with it too. So might not be able to recoup the money there, be able to come back and recoup it in another way through the ESSER. We're hoping that we can. That's not a 100%.
Right, that's not a 100%.
We'll still be, you know, 3.5, somewhere that, in that ballpark, 3.5 at that point in time.
But we still got $100,000 we gotta come up with for Huntsville too. To
For-
finish the gym.
That leaves about 3.4.
Well, I mean,
And the other needs, if you look, you know, at the other needs that's coming down the
Yes.
pipeline, there's some needs that definitely has to be done. We don't have a choice.
Absolutely.
So that's my only thing.
And I think a lot of those needs too can be placed on the plan that we have as far as with the county. There's gonna be some things we're gonna have to do. You know, there'll be a couple of things we'll bring to you. You know, that we'll have to do.
And it'll
But
come.
I know that, you know, we have 227,000 coming off here in the next year or two. That'll help get back, but I think that's 2 years away. You know, I think when we looked at that plan, that was part of it, you know, as far as what would be coming back once that payment is paid off. So, like I said, guys, you know, you're gonna ask me my for it. I told you I've always dealt with wants and needs, okay? Wanted, sure, okay? Difference there, and I think what he has said has been an absolute, can help tremendously. I'm gonna be okay either way, for the fact of, you know, we're gonna play football Friday night regardless, with this enhanced things, everything, absolutely will generate athletic funds back into our athletic program immensely, yes. Is it gonna take some time for people to learn and to do? Absolutely, yes. But I think it could be a great thing for our school.
And I agree, it could be, but I'm just still in that little, it's just not the appropriate time. And it's not helping all kids. And I mean, that's what I sit here for, is to help all kids. And I just don't feel that that would be what I would be doing, and I'm sorry.
Any other discussion? Hold on, roll call.
Mr. Silcox. Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Shelton. Ms. Kidd.
Aye.
Ms. King.
No,
Mr. Stanley.
Aye.
Dr. Murphy.
No.
5-2.
Item 9P, adjournment. Mr. Shutoff, you have anything?
Only thing I want to say is my students, my twins are really enjoying summer school, so it's been a really positive thing for them. And I think it's something that more kids need to take advantage of.
Mr. Shutoff, Mr. Shelton?
Thank you all for the warm welcome with the new kid. Just Lamonte Turner basketball camps this Saturday, so my daughter's excited. Hope everyone brings their kids out.
I want to congratulate you on your wonderful birth of your child.
Appreciate
I hope
it.
mom and baby still doing great. And Miss Tammy, one thing I do want to mention, that it may not be in your area, but if Congressman Fleshman or Congressman Rose can help right now, the thing of Don't Trash Scott County, we'd greatly be appreciative of them trying to build like a trans-rail transfer station by Winfield School. I'm sure it's probably hit your desk. So if the congressman can have any help, we greatly appreciate it. We don't need that by our school.
thank you for mentioning that, Bill.
If y'all don't know, I've got to go in front of 2 town hall meetings at Oneida and at Winfield. And it's been really kind of eye-opening, and kind of, the more I've listened, the more I've watched, the more I've learned about this. So I think this is something that would really not be good. I mean, I'm sure there are things about jobs and they may create this, that, and the other. But the harm it can do, I think, outlasts or outweighs anything that can come positive.
Specifically the transfer station, not
Yes.
the landfill.
Yes,
Landfill.
transfer station is what it is right now. So, thank you for being here, Jim Stanley.
Mr. Bay, do you have anything?
Congratulations to
Thank you.
number 3.
Girl dad.
It's an area I'll never get into. So. But also, I know he's not leaving us, and he won't leave us. I won't let you, but I appreciate everything that Greg Vaughn does for the
I
school
do.
system. To know that he is, you know, I can reach him anytime is very
I'll be
relieving.
able to do better, you know, more of what I'm.
You've always been very responsive to my office, and I know you have been for the school system, so.
Tanya will ensure that.
Yes.
She's gonna like it, you know, but, you know, Mr. Steve was already saying, can I call you boss now? So.
Ms. Kemp?
Yeah, thank you, Greg. I know you've worked countless hours. I know that, and I appreciate it. Congratulations on the baby.
Thank you.
Maybe the fourth one will be a boy.
Yeah.
I told him how to get, I told him how to get the 4th one.
Oh, yes, you did. You did. I read that.
Adopt one, it's real simple.
Ms. Angie, do you have anything?
Greg, You know, I've always appreciated you, and always will. I just pray for your wife now. Long live. For all shoulders.
Ms. Trafford?
Yeah, that's true.
I feel the same way about Mr. Bond, and felt the same way about him in school too, so there you go. He knew I loved him back then. Okay, Mr. Shannon, I want to congratulate him on his new job, but I'm really, really disappointed. I wanted him to stay, and I tried my best to talk him into it, but, you know, he's got other endeavors, and that's great. Summer school, I've been watching you guys put stuff on Facebook, and it is very interesting. And those kids are loving every minute of it, not just at Robbins, but everywhere. And you guys are doing a good job. Thank you.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
We had two motions, so.
One gives a second.
Second.
Okay, vote on roll
Who
call.
got the second? Mr. Shelton?
Aye.
Mr. Silcox? Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Kidd?
Aye.
Ms. King?
Aye.
Mr. Stanley?
Aye.
Dr. Murphy?
Ah.
We're adjourned.